I think I'm good there. I was just doing the live feed on Facebook, so that it also goes there. Okay, cool. Morning. Morning, everyone. So I can see everyone is just walking in. So I see Deborah is in. Morning, Deborah. Morning, Ellen. Katlejo, morning. Leo, Megan, Miso. Nathan, Neo, Nicholas, Notolo. Tiano just stepped in. Vusilio is here. Wayne Zanele also just stepped in. Okay, cool. So I can see everybody's just stepping in, and then we're gonna get started. So welcome, Oyisa. Morning. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. And how are you?
Cool. So you joining us from the office? So you in the office this morning, eh?
I thought, let me not risk anything with connectivity. Let me come where, there's guaranteed connectivity,
Oh, you
UPS.
went to the source.
I came to the source for connectivity.
Yeah, no. I was actually thinking about it. I was like, listen, the good thing is that because you're at Vodacom, you always have data and airtime. So no matter what happens, we are covered.
Yes, I spoke to peoples that know. So this, just to secure this link, as it were.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Morning. I see Nicholas is just saying morning. Morning, Nicholas. Hello. Okay, so just a bit of an overview for everyone joining us for the first time on Marketing Fridays is that how the webinar runs is that we'll get started. Just a bit of introduction with our awesome guest Oyisa. So she tells us a bit about herself and how much airtime she's going to give us and how much data she's going to give us. And then we'll get started and she'll share with us a presentation. And then just in terms of some house rules is that, so everybody's mic is switched off, obviously, so that we don't have those awkward moments. So we keep on asking for people to switch off their mics. So everybody's disabled. If you have anything you want to ask, I'll be looking at the chat function. So I'll be moderating this morning. So I'll make sure that I take everybody's notes. And then once the presentation is done from Oyisa's side at 9 o'clock, we'll open up for a Q&A session. So I always encourage everybody that say as much as you can in terms of come up with questions so that we have a spirited debate and we can learn, because the idea with Marketing Fridays is that the platform is really about us learning in terms of how we can market better, how we can be better marketers, and how we can connect with each other. So that's quite important. I hope my audio comes out quite well. I think I'm generally loud so you can hear me. All right, cool. And then if for any reason we do not sound well to anyone in the webinar today, just let us know on the chat function to say, hi guys, can't hear audio, or if you see me doing this, okay, you can just say hi, Nico, I think you're frozen. And one day we'll laugh back and remember these days of Zoom when our screens used to freeze and all that stuff. So that's that. And then the big idea, the vision is we always learn with Marketing Fridays. It's a platform for us to learn, connect with each other, and really go deep in terms of the things that we do and really get better at what we do. So thank you for everyone for making the time to come through this morning. Okay, cool. So we're gonna get started. So Oyisa, how we usually start is I always ask our guests, and I always ask that. So how did we end up here? How did you get the what started it all?
So, not classically trained as a marketer, Nico,
Yeah.
but a big journey, I think, a passion that I found, that I've invested time in to understand the craft, a lot of respect for this discipline. And for me, I think the point that turned and gave and resuscitated my passion for marketing was when I was looking after a property portfolio, and in doing store designs, engaging with our marketing team around how do we best communicate to our customers using our retail footprint. And that for, it's a big job and it's a big task. And in understanding how we did that from a property perspective, I then, got to learn a lot more about marketing. Then had sales and marketing role thereafter within the regional team. And now looking after consumer, mass consumer market segment, as we call it, within the consumer marketing team at Vodacom. So, this is why I'm here today.
All right, cool. And in terms of marketing, I mean, what's always a guiding philosophy for you in terms of over the years on how you've approached it? And maybe to even dial in on my question, is it looking at the principles of the 4 Ps, or I think it's the 6 or 7? Is it looking at Maslow? Is it just learning and winging as you go? Like, what has been your philosophy in terms of how you've navigated with marketing?
I'm very fortunate that I'm in an organization that has, very, I'm going to call it strict guidelines in terms of how we talk to our customers. We call ourselves a customer-led and insight-led division. So for me, the essence of our job is serving customers. So that's always the lens that I approach my job with, and it's informed by data, which is what helps us drive the insights and help us build the right propositions that resonate with our customers. So that's the framework.
Okay, awesome. And then as we're about to start this morning, I mean, what can everybody expect? So I always dial back and I said, okay, cool. Who's our audience in our webinar? So, so we've got people who are in agency, we've got people who are in brand, call it whether you are working at KFC or Simba or Stay Soft. And then you've got people who are in management consulting and stuff. So what can people expect from the session today as we get into it?
I think it's, I guess it's my approach and my understanding on this digital customer, nothing too theory based, but more conversations and things that I've learned and observed over the years. A little bit about a campaign that for us was a great success and how we used the approach that I will, from a theory and framework perspective, and the results that we saw from that kind of campaign, and a little bit about how you keep yourself informed, excited, and motivated as a marketer. So so it's a bit of everything.
Yeah. Things that you want to hear as marketers.
Hopefully.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. So it's 8:40, then let's get started. Over to you then, Oyisa.
Cool. So morning, everybody on the line. And again, Nico, thanks for this opportunity. It's really a very short presentation, and I'm hoping that it would be the conversation that we get to have afterwards, and in the Q&A from an engagement perspective. So when I was asked to look at this topic, it's involved. There's a lot of things that one can consider, and you have to understand the framing from a digitally connected customer. So from our side, when we're looking at a digitally connected customer, who are they? They are very much informed. They are no longer looking at our marketing communication and being passive recipients of that communication, because they can engage with our piece of work in multiple platforms and tell us quite quickly whether they like the information or the service or the content that we are providing. So for us as marketers, we have a big challenge to drive purpose-led communication that establish a human connection for our customers. And I think the one big thing for me that COVID has helped us learn is that we need to be responsive and not reactive. And responsive is around you gathering your data, understanding what the lay of the land is and the lens that customers are viewing things at, so that when you are talking to them, you are quite appropriate. As well as any shifts, that a crisis gives. So in this case, from a COVID perspective, we've seen an acceleration in digital service adoption, which has led to these multiple touch points that customers have. And looking after a mass consumer segment, we've seen a growth as well in digital engagement. And traditionally, these are the technophobic customers, but because they've been forced to behave in a different way due to restrictions. Now there's a more, trust and a bit more acceptance of technology. So, in my mind, there's a couple of things that one looks at, and this is a funnel that serves us very well. So I've spoken about now this, digitally connected customer and the technology allowing us to have multiple data points. And these data points, give raw information. As marketers, it is our job to help define use cases and help our data scientists build models that help us understand this data better. There's, when it's just information and it's raw, there's, yes, people like this or don't like that, and you have no use case and no model and no behavioral underlayer, it becomes useless. And that information then is cultivated to give us insights that define a problem statement from a customer point of view. And once you've understood what the customer is seeking, based on the insights that you've gathered, you are therefore able to build propositions that address these customer needs. And it's important that we don't build things as marketers from a proposition perspective that we think would work, and that do not resonate with the customer. So, and it's as equally important around the channel that you select from a communication perspective. And what, one of the things that we've also learned is from a strategy point of view, you look at your full 360 comms plan. You have, and you must build enough flexibility to change up anything. So dial up on social, dial up radio, dial down another element within the communication plan, so that you can get the desired results. Because when you see which platform customers are engaging in, then that's where you drive your best, you drive your communication to get the best result. And I think the other thing that we're also learning as marketers is being generous with our communication and empathetic, and applying neuro-linguistics knowledge in how we communicate with our customers. So for me, it's a big, it's a big exciting part of how we get to do our job. And that's been something that we investing in quite heavily going forward from a Vodacom perspective. So I think when I was chatting to Nico about this forum and some of the things that we have to do, and one of the things that marketers we get, I'm not going to say blamed, but if there's a product that goes out to the market, if it doesn't sell through, there's no adoption, it's the comms piece that wasn't bad, that was bad, sorry. If it's successful, it's the sales agents on the ground that have been able to sell that product. But our job in when we're designing propositions, we need to consider right up front with the sales elements as well as the after sales, and this is in creating a story that helps you deliver on your promise around that product or service. And for me, there are 5 non-negotiables that you need to consider. The first one is channel flexibility. There's things that we talk about from a channel flexibility, from its click and collect, at a rudimentary level. But I must be able as a customer to start online. And if I don't want to wait for a delivery of a good, then I can check which of your retail outlets has the stock available, and I can go and collect because it's convenient for me. Then reachability, we talk about the ability to get after-sales service. And the brand must be reachable. Not only from an after-sales service perspective, but from a communications perspective as well. Convenience, 24/7 is the new normal, multiple service interaction points. Chatbots are a feature in our offer of service as well as sales. So a customer, we cannot dictate to a customer when and how they get our product. We need to be flexible and respond to them. And one of the things that we need to ensure in our absolute design is simplicity. Complicated journeys lead to a drop-off, and customer adoption levels then become dismal. And I think, the other big part is the personalization of a proposition without overcooking things, as they say. So how do you make it relevant for me? And how do I feel like part of what the solution that you have speaks to me? And therefore, I'm happy to buy that product. And also in your comms piece, if it's a massive program, but how do I identify with the information? How do I identify with your photography? How do I identify with the language that you've chosen? And for me, that's another important part. Then, I think there is a little bit of a trap around digital marketing that it becomes, I'm going to call it somewhat a lazy form of marketing. And as marketers, there's programmatic, and I think it's really, really smart and great things that can be done. But the engagement that we need to be driving from these digital platforms needs to be meaningful. We cannot just take, the easy way out from a marketing perspective. So for me, it's something that we always have to keep at the back of our minds is how do we make sure that the likes that I'm getting translate into a revenue generator, translate into uptake of service and within that journey. And one of the biggest challenges that we all facing as marketers is the multiple digital identities. So as a customer, I will give the Vodacom customer as a typical example. We know you when you call our call center through your account number, your cell phone number, but you may interact with us in social media via a handle. And we therefore, and we picked up, so there's a social command center, there's a call center response, and all of these parties are engaging with this customer in many different platforms. It becomes very difficult to identify which customer is it the same customer that is giving us. But what is important, though, is a deep dive into the sentiment that customers are giving right across these platforms around your product. So always remember that when you have to look at information around adoption, you have to consider all the various touch points that customers customers give you or are generated for you. Okay, so I'll go into, I think, our use case that the team launched last year. This was our summer campaign. It was the Shake Up campaign. Those that follow a little bit about Vodacom, you would know that we've had the Shake Everyday campaign, and it resonated really well with our customers. But for us, this was a next step evolution. Really quite an intuitive campaign with three simple messagings. You get your free Shake daily, you earn, and then you've got voter bucks, and then you get to spend. So a bit of information, a bit of insight around this campaign. There was a concept that was presented. Everybody liked a particular concept. Then when we went to validate this concept with our customers, they said, no, we don't like X, Y, Z elements of this campaign. These are the things that we think would make it work well. We took that feedback from our customers, redesigned and iterated, and then we were able to execute on something that was good, that met the expectations of the customers. So the result of the campaign, we had over 19 million. So the campaign period was from October to January. We had over 19 million customers that opted in. Our average daily shake was 5 million. It peaked at about 8.5 million as well. And that is the thing that drove the return to this platform. So I get to shake, I might win something, I might not win something, but it doesn't cost me anything as a Vodacom customer. So whatever you give me is a surprise and delight. I can then use services that I might not have been exposed to before and try new things as well on my mobile because you've given me free access to do that. Then the other big part around the campaign was our launch of our virtual currency, which is the Voda Bucks. And we said to our customers, by simply doing the things that you normally do with Vodacom, and recharging airtime or data, will actually give you the Voda Bucks, as well as introducing a behavioral element and say, okay, if you do this thing as a customer and it meets your profile and it suits your needs, you can earn additional Voda Bucks. And this drove quite a big engagement for us as well. Once you earned your Voda Bucks, you could spend them. And spending them was, first one is in the Mega Shake. The Mega Shake is what then unlocked the bigger grand prizes, as well as launching a fully Voda Bucks currency store. So from this perspective, you could then go into the My Vodacom app and purchase any of the products that were there if you had a sufficient wallet. And really drove for us great financial results, not only financial results, but great engagement from a customer point of view, with a good sentiment from a social media perspective. And because we delivered something that resonated with our customers. So it was really a big learning from an organization point of view, and something that we will be replicating going forward in terms of the approach to conceptualize, validate, iterate, and therefore execute with excellence. And then I think, lastly, we spoke a little bit about how I ended up in marketing earlier. You go from a challenge point of view. So, and for me, I've looked at my career not only in this field of marketing, but in every role that I've ever had, that I need to have a growth mindset. And as I've put there, there's always more than one way to skin a cat. So you need to find the right tool. So I read and I listen to a lot of things, and again, not to maybe everybody should come and join Vodacom, but we've got a corporate library And in our library, I can subscribe to the Harvard Business Review, the International Journal of Marketing, and I get alerts, and then I look and see, okay, this is what's been covered in the publication this month. What are the things that are relevant to me? Request those articles, download, and be able to read. But also just to listen from a global as well as a South African context. And Andy Rice is featured on the Money Show with Bruce Whitfield with his Heroes and Zeros, and it's one of my favorite podcasts to listen to. And from that perspective, this is how I balance knowledge and gain knowledge. And it's not only just about formal classroom learning, but it is really around using the resources and sources that you have around you to get information. So for me, I read to gain understanding in terms of trends, what's happening, and I also get knowledge that helps me raise the bar. What's also important, I think, in managing a career, when you learn new skills, cultivate ways to show them off, as it were, so that everybody can see, okay, this is why we sent them to school and paid, for that MBA. And Nico, again, thanks for this opportunity to engage on this platform, because I believe that we need to be authentic in our contribution. So I give and I also receive, and it really creates an ecosystem where everybody can mutually benefit. And again, for me, a personal principle is you work hard and you deliver. When you put your name on something, there is a personal rubber stamp that you have. And then I think, lastly, again, it really has served me and my career, that I haven't been linear in how I think about my career and building my career. I've been quite happy to move sideways so that I can, build enough skills and knowledge so that when that opportunity comes to move upwards, I can take it and, be in better position than my counterparts that are looking for that role. So it's these are things that have served me really, really well over the years and have helped me contribute in the work that I do. So, thank you.
Awesome, thank you, Oyisa. That was very, very insightful, and definitely enjoyed that. I'm just gonna stop, if you can just stop sharing, so that we go back to the view, and what I'll do is I'll then just open up with a Q&A. So I see people are starting. They're like, you showed us the shake campaign. Let's shake these Q&As. So they shake. All right, cool. So I'm going to start with the first one. So this one is from Nathan Lunga. So he's saying, looking at the shake campaign, I believe there was a big budget and database behind it. And I guess his question is like, how can such success be achieved by companies with slightly smaller budget and I guess a smaller database?
Okay, so is the database in reference to customers, or is the
I think it's the number of customers. Yeah.
Okay. So for me, it's not the number of customers. I guess we enjoy a scalability from a Vodacom perspective because of the number of subscribers that we have. But at a principal level, there were a couple of things that we're invested in. So firstly, it's the technology that allows you to do these things. So from a business point of view, there has been consistent work around how do we invest in the right tech that will help us, firstly, mine our big data, build those use cases, understand our customers better, feedback, and be quite responsive in how we communicate with our customers. So from just not only from a digital marketing perspective, but big data, customer value management engines, because all of these actually talk together to deliver on this campaign. So it's not only just the size of Vodacom, but it is the right decision making and the right investment that needs to be made so that you can deliver on these kinds of campaigns.
Yeah. And I guess so for me, always interesting. So obviously I am the one thing I enjoy is that as much as I do Marketing Fridays, full time I'm in marketing, so I'm a marketing manager at a property company, and I've always asked myself, so you do a lot of competitions within a Vodacom environment, right? So are those still very popular within consumers, I guess, as digitally connected as they are?
Yeah, they are, because there is simplicity, right, in expectation. Yeah. And we don't do these competitions without an informed view. I spoke to, the fact that we conceptualize as a business, and we go out to market and we validate what is it that we're thinking, because we've said we are consumer-led. We are clear on what our purpose is as a business, and therefore the principles of our marketing are informed by those elements. So yeah, they work because our customers tell us and engage with those mechanics.
Yeah. All right, cool. And then I see there's a question here from Geraldine just asking. She's saying she struggled to find the Journal of Marketing. So where can she get it?
I'll send you what I have. If there's anything, Geraldine, I'm not so great on social media. Nico will attest to this, but if we can link up, then just tell me if there's something specific you're looking for, then I can help you.
All right.
It's like an academic journal, but I'm sure it's from a digital. I will just check from a subscription perspective for you.
All right, cool. So what I'll do, maybe I'll connect with Geraldine. We'll add her quick on our group, and then she can get the answers, and then before we close the group. Okay, cool. So I'm taking more Q&As. So I've just answered that. I've got the next one from Wayne Kruger. So he says, you mentioned various touch of a brand. What are the main things to look at? Let me try to see if I can maybe unmute Wayne, because I'm not sure I understand the question. Or do you understand? Okay, so let me just go to Wayne. Wayne, I'm gonna allow you to talk.
Morning, thank you. Sorry, my connection dropped there. What I meant to ask was, you referred to various touch points of a brand. What are the main things we need to look at?
Okay, so the main, I think for me, when we look at our comms pieces, largely it's on your own channel. So from a Vodacom perspective, we define our own media, and we've got multiple elements. So you've got your retail stores. We have our Now blog that we send out. We've got email billing. From a touch point perspective, we've got our SMS campaign platform. We've got things like the Please Call Me platform. We've got our Connect You portal. So there's multiple touch points, but I think it just depends on what the business has. But largely, when you would rather spend a bit more of your own, in your own channel, so that you can save on the paid media channels. Paid media obviously being outdoor, social, TV, radio, etc. But one of the things that we also have, I think, as a strength from a Vodacom perspective is that we manage the business by regions. So we've got 8 regions, not 9 provinces, but we've got 8 regions that operate. And the different nuances of each region is surfaced at a national campaign, and we then design the appropriate language pieces for each of the regions so that whatever we're trying to communicate can be viewed in the vernac that is popular in that particular region.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, cool. So Wayne, that was you done. And then I've got Tango. Is it Tango or Tango? So he'll let us know. I'm going to allow him to talk so he can ask his questions properly. But it says, thoroughly enjoyed the presentation. What would you have for a service that is trying to grow engagement? But Tango, you can elaborate on that.
Thank you. Hi, Oyisa. And
Hi,
Tango is Oyisa, I just wanted to ask, what advice would you have for a small platform, like a small business that's just trying to grow online engagement, that's trying to grow engagement with customers and trying to like put their name out there? Like, what advice would you have for us?
So it would be, from a customer point of view, what is it that they're wanting from this platform? So let's say you've built something already and you're not quite sure how to move it forward to the next phase to scale it. What we do is, again, it's going out to customers and say, this is what we have. What more would you like to see? What is not resonating with you? And therefore build your iteration according to the responses of customers, and be strategic in your investment as well. What I find, if it's a small platform, how you take it to market can't be as big as like the Shake campaign with TVC, but the use of, if it's a mass product that plays in my space, the use of community radio station balanced with digital and social media campaigns really resonates with that consumer segment. So it just depends on who the target audience is. But I think as a first start, it's really understanding what will resonate with your customers and build and iterate against that.
Oh, all right, cool. The next one is from Nathan. So Nathan is asking a question from a customer perspective. He's like, I am a Vodacom customer. I've waited all my life to speak to you, Oyisa. I'm here. So he's saying, I'm curious as a Vodacom customer that my Vodacom app seems to be promoted every time you check your balance. With almost every company having an app out, is the app era beneficial to yourself more, or is it to the customer? But I'm going to just allow him to talk just so that he contextualizes for us. So Nathan?
Yeah, so I'm just curious. Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm just curious. Many companies have apps, and people often complain that they struggle to actually have space for an app on their device. So now I'm curious as to, is it beneficial having an app and all the work that has been done on the app for Vodacom, I've seen there's a lot of functions on the app, so what is the benefit to the company, reaching out, telling customers to download the app and to use the app? Yeah, that's my question in general.
Cool. All right, cool.
Yeah, so the first one I'll answer is around the issue of space, and this is a big debate that we've had from a business point of view, because the common joke is, people are not going to prioritize your app over saving and storing pictures of their kids on their mobile device. So when that trade-off then needs to happen around which app do I download, the answer must be or do I delete? The answer must be the one that is least beneficial to me as a customer. So when we build features on the app, we want to make sure that it's something that resonates with the customer from a self-service point of view. So in the presentation earlier, I spoke about the channel flexibility, and my Vodacom app is a channel. from a service perspective for us. It's a sales as well as an after-sales channel that allows our customers to self-service. So it's important, I think, in our world, that we make sure that when that push to delete the My Vodacom app is not the one to go, but somebody may choose not to dig at anybody, maybe choose to delete Virgin Active on the platform. But though that's the intention of any app, and yeah, that for us it's a strategic part of our service delivery.
Yeah. Right. Okay, cool. And then the next one is from Deborah Spicer. So she says, you mentioned various podcasts and journals that you use for your learning. So it's a learning question. We're going. So she's saying, what recent trends have been influencing your marketing campaigns? And I'm just going to allow Deborah to talk just so that she elaborates the question and the thinking there.
Just really an open question. I don't know if you want to, talk about COVID trends, about buying power, or people staying at home, or any technology trends. Just an open question. Like, what have you been learning, and how's that influenced your marketing program?
Absolutely.
All right.
So thanks, Deborah, for that. Firstly, after COVID, there was I think Kantar did some research around how we speak to customers, what customers were facing, the anxieties, and how we needed to craft our messaging so that we were not seen as insensitive. So that's the first one, is from a pandemic point of view, what is it that people are experiencing, and how do you then engage and communicate as a brand? So that's been a very big topic for me. The other thing that lately I've been learning on is behavioral, not quite behavioral science, but a part of behavioral science. One, digital anthropology. Secondly, it is neuro-linguistics. So how do we use the learning of language in how we communicate to customers and craft our messaging? And thirdly, I think from an acceleration of technology from a South Africa context, looking at how online shopping for essential services has really grown. And what I'm finding quite interesting in the research that I'm saying is that, there is, if I like the brands that I like, but if I can't find them because there isn't, then I'm going to try something else. And how, COVID has, I'm not going to say forced, but empowered the technophobe customer to try it once and see that it works and build trust, and therefore, the confidence to go back and engage digitally. So yeah, those are the trends.
Yeah. All right, cool. So we'll take the last two. The one is from Katleho, the last one's from Damien. So Katleho is saying he's also Katleho Kevin. Okay, so it says, Kevin here, I'm the marketing officer for an investment company. Does Oyisa have an idea on how I can engage my investee companies? So he's saying that it has been a challenge linking them up because of COVID-19. Any ideas? So I guess he's looking at that connection. I'm not going to unmute him because we're almost out of time, but maybe we can just get to that question.
And I'm not sure if I understand the question is how do you, it's the meeting of the client as well as the solution that you're selling, right? So if I'm assuming correctly, but for me, it's COVID, the thing that I mentioned earlier around acceleration of digital, and without maybe an app, because we know that there's challenges with sizes of apps, we launched something called Connect You for our customers as well earlier this year, which aggregated our zero-rated services like eSchool. It's a mobile site from a customer point of view, so you're not storing it on your phone. So how do you make sure that in this time of COVID, where people's financial security, all of that, so maybe not invest in an app, but something that is mobile, that can be used, that is intuitive for the customer and easy for them to engage with. and provide that. So that could be one way of looking at it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And then it's 9:15. The last one is from Damien. So I'll just summarize quick. So he's saying he's curious in terms of how you connect with customers that are out of reach with kind of technology and connectivity. So obviously there's this USS that still require USSD. So how are you navigating with those customers who are not as in your advanced, I guess, environments like maybe a Joburg or Cape Town or all those things?
So it's a customer choice, right? It's not even an access to technology around the platform that they have. So when I spoke about 19 million opt-ins from a summer perspective, this is an interesting stat, is that 70% of the people that opted into summer, no, not actually 70%, about 85% opted in using USSD as a channel. Out of that, 70% of those customers have smartphones. So they've got the access to the technology, but they prefer this easier way because this is what they know, and they don't want to download the app and move to another channel. So for me, it's, again, what is it that your customer is comfortable to engage with? And how do you help them transition from this, I'm going to say, outdated technology into, into the world of apps by, making sure that your tech is stable, is secure, and that it's not going to eat their data, as it were. So those are the kinds of things that we would look at.
Okay. All right. Cool. So yeah. So I think that was the last one. So yeah, so I think it's been a great session. I think we can speak quite extensively on the connected customer and how we deal with that. What I will do is I'll take everyone's questions who've asked, but we were out of time, and then I'll share with you, and we'll make sure that we respond to everyone accordingly. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you again for the opportunity, and thanks everybody for joining.
No, thank you, Oyisa. It was amazing. So thank you so much, and thank you to everyone that joined us. Cheers. Have a great day and enjoy the rest of your Zoom sessions and Teams and everything that will follow. Cheers. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.